Welcome back to the Neuro Finance Masterclass. This is day 46 of our 365 Days to Financial Freedom series. Today, we're unpacking a highly sophisticated, yet foundational concept. We spent time showing you how to read Wall Street's hidden numbers, but in this explainer, we're looking at how Wall Street actually pays you directly. We're talking about dividends, and not just as some abstract metric, but as a literal slice of a company's raw profit deposited directly into your bank account. Let's look at how to master dividend growth and start building your secret salary.
And I say, welcome back to the Neuro Finance Masterclass, because here we don't just stare at spreadsheets, we master the psychology and the systems behind true wealth. Today, you are stepping fully into the role of the architect. But before we start building, we have to avoid a massive trap. You know the one. Amateurs constantly scour the market for these eye-catching, massive yields, stuff like 10% or even 15%. But as we learned back in Day 44's lesson on the value trap, seeing a yield that high is usually a giant, flashing red flag. It almost always means the company is dying, the stock price is completely collapsed, and that juicy dividend you're chasing, it's about to be cut to zero.
So how does the true architect completely avoid this trap? Well, it takes a fundamental shift in mindset. The amateur blindly chases those huge, unsustainable yields, literally walking right into dying companies. Meanwhile, the architect strictly chases sustainable growth. They want companies with the bedrock fundamental strength to not just pay a dividend, but actually grow it year after year after year.
Which brings us to our first core concept. Meet the Dividend Aristocrats, the elite of Wall Street.
Now, this isn't just some catchy marketing term, it's a highly exclusive classification. To be officially recognized as a dividend aristocrat, a company must increase its dividend payout every single year for at least 25 consecutive years. Just wrap your head around the magnitude of that time frame. They are achieving the truly monumental feat of giving their investors a literal pay raise for 2.5 decades straight, without a single interruption. And think about the historical chaos they had to survive to pull that off. Over the last 25-plus years, we've seen brutal global recessions, unpredictable wars, massive pandemics. Entire industries were wiped off the map. Yet through all of that severe economic destruction, these elite companies remained virtually bulletproof. They never missed a payment. Imagine a company selling everyday soap or soda, seamlessly powering through a global financial crisis just to keep depositing more cash into your account.
Let's move on to the psychological side of this, the automatic pay raise and escaping the boss.
Think about the immense psychological piece that comes with this. In the traditional corporate world, let's be real, you're essentially trapped. You have to go in and basically beg your boss for a meager 3% pay raise just to try and tread water against inflation. It's frustrating and it's entirely out of your control. But with an aristocrat portfolio, your cash flow is completely detached from that stress. You receive an automatic annual pay raise, no awkward performance reviews, no hoping the boss is in a good mood. The raise just appears.
And here is the absolute ultimate proof of their resilience. Even if we experience a severe market crash and global share prices drop by a terrifying 20%, it simply does not interrupt your income. While the rest of the market panics and amateurs panic sell, these bulletproof companies are still depositing more cash into your bank account than they did the year before. The stock price on your screen might be down, sure, but your actual cash flow, it continues to rise. Now let's look at how we scale this, the ultimate snowball and building the secret salary. When you combine that continuously growing cash flow with the highly disciplined mindset of the architect, you create an absolutely unstoppable financial snowball, and it runs on a very specific mechanical loop. Step 1, you receive the dividend in cash. Step 2, instead of spending that cash on some liability, you immediately reinvest it to buy more shares of that exact same company. Step 3, because you now own more shares, they produce even more dividends in the next cycle. Boom! It's a perfectly closed loop of continuous compounding. If you execute this exact discipline consistently over a decade, the results are completely transformative. This mechanical loop literally takes a small initial investment and turns it into a raging river of passive income. It scales up from paying for your morning coffee to covering your utility bills, and eventually, it's paying your rent or your mortgage. Ultimately, this secret salary is exactly what buys your financial freedom and gives you 100% ownership of your time.
All right, let's bring it all together. Time to switch sides. Today's action plan. Look, information without execution is totally useless. So today, we are assigning you a specific cognitive task. You need to shift your mindset from relying solely on your physical labor to expecting your capital to work for you.
Here is your practical step for today. Go online and search for the official list of Dividend Aristocrats. Read through it carefully. You will immediately notice just how many everyday brands are on it: the food, the consumer goods, the healthcare products you actively use every single week.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate choice you face today. Every single time you grab their products off the shelf, you are paying them. You are actively funding their massive dividends. So the question is, are you ready to switch sides? Are you ready to stop being just a consumer and finally step up as an owner who collects the paycheck? Every transaction is an exchange of wealth. Isn't it time you set up the system so they are the ones paying you? Think about that as you review the list today, and we'll see you tomorrow.